My name is Ricky Kwok. As you can see on the screen, I coordinate e-learning activities for this university. So for Hong Kong U colleagues, please come to me or email me or text me whenever you have something that you want us to help in your e-learning ideas. Today, I'm very, very happy to have one of my best friends, Dr. Masato Kajimoto, an assistant professor in the Journalism Media Studies Center of the Faculty of Social Sciences, to team up with me to give this talk. Actually, don't get me wrong, he is actually the leading character for today's talk. I'm just trying to tag along and do some advertising of the work that we do for you, for the colleagues here from Hong Kong U. Masato is an assistant professor in the Journalism and Media Studies Center. He's a very, very active researcher and highly enthusiastic teacher. He leads the media literacy initiatives in the center. He came from a very, very, very strong industrial background. He worked for CNN for many years before joining Hong Kong U. So I'm sure you will learn from him a lot today about his experience of making a MOOC and using it to flip his class on campus for a credit-bearing course. So let me start my advertising, and I will just do a few slides with around 10-15 minutes, and then I will pass the stage, the time to Masato to tell you more about his experience. But once more, I want to say that for Hong Kong U colleagues, if you want to do something with e-learning and you don't know where to find support, let me know. So today's talk is about, my part is about scaling out teaching and scaling up learning. I'm trying to explain these two lines with you in the following 10-15 minutes. 10 months ago, I gave another talk, and allow me to show you a video. Sorry. This is the video. I will just show around 2 minutes or so. When we do this, we are not teaching in the classroom anymore. We are teaching the world. So I like to first go all the way back, maybe 10 months ago, when I was, asked by the provost to coordinate this thing without any extra compensation. But that's a different story. I don't want to elaborate on that. Our previous vice president in teaching and learning stepped down, by accident. So he has to find someone to replace that role in this particular book venture. And so I guess from this picture you can sense the fear and loneliness that I have gone through after I hang up with the phone conversation with the provost. So how can I pull this off? This is really so new. Nobody in this university has done this. And of course, not me. I'm just an engineering teacher in the engineering faculty. I don't know much about this. I don't know why I was in this particular story. So this is really very scary. So what I did was, obviously, the first thing I learned is this is going to be a team effort. It's something that we need to collaborate. We need many of you to help. So what I did actually was basically running around, talking to people, trying to convince them this is something that is meaningful, although I lied many times actually. I didn't really know what I said is really true. I have to confess at this stage. Although now I can verify that this is pretty much true. So run around on campus, going to different places. Once I got this comment from Professor David Long. He described me as really just a crazy person, running around for no reason, doing something that is so new, and nobody really cared, actually. And I even went all the way to Joe's office, the medicine campus, not on foot. I drove, I confess, but still, it's a long way. And I keep doing this, sounded like Forrest Gump. I keep doing this around the world, actually. When I got the chance.
I guess this is enough. I once attend the CEO of Coursera's talk here in Hong Kong. He said it was horrifying to watch your own video. Indeed, it is really horrifying. This is the first time I watched this, and it's extremely horrifying. But I just want to make use of this video to tell you a bit of history, why we are here today. It was because I keep running around. In that particular talk, I talked about 10 months before, and actually now it's already another 10 months. I gave that talk in March 2015, so it's approximately 10 months ago. And in these 10 months, of course, I still keep running, trying to talk people into doing e-learning with us. But fortunately, with the blessing of the president and a senior management team, it's not me alone anymore. I have lots of colleagues running with me at the same time. And we are a bunch of crazy people running around on campus. You can see their hoodies and sweatshirts. You can identify them easily. One of them is standing there. So recognize that sweatshirt and you will see these are our people. And running around talking to people, trying to convince them that there's a new way to teach because students come with a new way to learn, and all these activities are just trying to promote a new kind of culture. And Forrest Gump, 10 months on, I keep running, a huge crowd following Forrest Gump. I have a similar feeling in the sense that initially it was just me, but then gradually with support from the university, there are more and more people running behind me. And that's a good thing. That's a really important thing. Not for me, don't get me wrong, but for the university, for our students, most importantly. So coming back to today's main point, which Masato will tell you a bit more about that, is what's the point of doing a MOOC or flipping your class? The main idea is your teaching is already very good, but you might want to actually realize the potential of your great teaching by scaling it out, trying to reach more audience, reach an international audience, reach people that you have never imagined that you can reach. That's the potential a MOOC can provide. And then you can also make use of this platform, this artifact, a MOOC, or some e-learning objects to experiment quickly, to discover new ways of getting your points across to your students. I will give you some more examples later on. It's really trying to push the envelope of teaching to the limit. And one more point is that you want to create a cohesive and comprehensive artifacts that also satisfy our credit-bearing courses needs. It's not really just about trying, playing. It's also trying to satisfy what our students expect us to do. So these are my suggested answers to this big question. And of course, Masato will tell you more about his feelings, his first-hand experience of first making a MOOC and then using it for on-campus needs. So the question then becomes how? Then myself and my team, by the way, the team is called Technology Enriched Learning Initiative, TELI. Will come into the picture. We will help you. Our mission is to help you. Is to help teachers who want to try out new ideas using technology to reach out to more students, to deepen your students' learning. In two aspects. The first is you have to educate us on how you'd like to make quality teaching and learning objects. And then create quality time in a classroom. So I mentioned quality 2 times because nowadays students live in the cyber world. They spend much of their time, whether you like it or not, with their devices. So we better suit their needs and get across our messages through the devices as well. But if your materials are not engaging, not to the point, students won't watch it. Right? They will just close the window. So that's why the first bit is you have to create quality teaching and learning objects so as to achieve a much more fundamental goal is to make your time with the students here in this room, in a classroom, quality time. Quality time. Because students want to interact with you, students want to learn from you in a much more direct way. So doing this will require a lot of work, no question about that. And that's why we are a very big team now, actually, just like Forrest Gump's video. We have a lot of people to help you in doing the multimedia production, to analyze your data, to improve your systems, and so on, to make sure when we try to work together in the curating of T&L contents, quality is achieved. That's what I call scaling out your teaching. Trying to make use of your excellent teaching materials, convert them into high-quality objects online so that you can satisfy your students' needs while they are actually not in the classroom. They might be traveling through an NTR or 3 a.m. in the midnight. Right? They can still learn from you in that way. Right? That's how you actually scale out teaching across time, actually. Right? Because there's no more time limit for your lecture anymore. Right? Students can watch your video anytime according to their own schedule. But that's not enough. There's another part. You cannot just put up a show, right? Like you are a great speaker. You put up nice video, talking heads, right? Just trying to show off your presentation skills and so on and so forth. That's only part of the equation. You have to educate us again, right? Collaborate with us again, to tell us what are the actual learning outcomes. What do you want your students to learn? So that we can work together, we can collaborate and design engaging activities to achieve those outcomes. Because lecturing is just one of the tricks to achieve that. There are many other tricks, as I will show you in some examples. So you have to educate us on what you want your students to learn. And when we apply those tricks, we will work with you again, we will collaborate with you again to analyze the learning data that we harvest from the servers, to see how the students actually watch your videos, to see how much time students spend in answering your questions, to see how active they are across different time spans. Just yesterday, we had a research meeting. We talked about a project that we are doing with the mathematics professor. We find that students really log on and watch the videos 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the midnight, and try to work on some exercise, and so on. Right? And these ideas, these insights can help you to better gauge students' needs and adjust your teaching in time, not waiting until the next semester. Right? So that's what I call scaling up the learning, because the ultimate goal, why we are here, why we are paid to stay in this place, is to teach our students, to enable them to learn. Right? So if they don't learn, then we are failing them. Right? So scaling up learning means we want to deepen students' learning so they pick up whatever knowledge that we want to get across. Right? So the key word on this slide is please reach out to us, collaborate. We can make things happen. Just to show you a couple more examples, actually a few examples. First, a video, a very interesting one. Right? He's not a big name professor. I have some big name professors working with us, like Professor Richard Wong, but then you might say that, okay, he is Richard. Right? I'm not Richard. So doesn't relate to that. Right? I want to show you, just like Masato, this guy is a very young, just started out assistant professor in Faculty of Science. And he has done some interesting thing with us. Right? And my point of showing this video is to show you what we can do in terms of video
Hi, my
production.
name is Dr. Michael Pittman of the University of Hong Kong's Department of Earth Sciences, and today I'm going to be talking about aspects of the origin of birds. 今時今日，世界上有大概1萬種鳥類，包括唔同嘅形狀、大細同埋生活方式。
Okay,
譬如
maybe I should stop
企
here.
鵝啦。
So the point I want to get across again is we can help you to do lecture videos like that using our equipment, and we can help you to edit the video, provide animations, other support. And even your script, we can help. For example, Mike is a native English speaker, but we asked him to do a Cantonese version, and he could actually successfully pull this off. For some reason, I don't want to elaborate here. So the idea is that we can do multimedia production with you. You just need to show up, and we can make a video very engaging. Of course, based on a very good script that we need to work together. Another idea that we can apply in our teaching is like an app. For example, if you look at the upper right corner of the screen here, this is a project that we are actively working on with Dr. Eva Ng, assistant professor in the School of Chinese. She specializes in translation. And one of her teaching and research, both relevant project, knowledge exchange project, in fact, is to provide glossary translations for the local communities and other of her students. And what we are trying to do to help her to scale out her teaching is to build an app so that students and her subscribers can subscribe to this app and get glossary translation real time, anywhere, anytime, and get the translation personalized push to the interested students. So that's what we can do. That's what we are happy to work with you to construct. Another example is on the lower right corner of this history course from the Faculty of Arts, Department of History, obviously, is to construct a little decision tree-based game to gamify the learning experience. Here is a scene in the, I forgot, it's 18th century or 19th century Vietnam, trying to teach students what's going on at that time with the French occupation. And students in that game will have a role to play. Select a certain character with a certain historical stereotype. And then the student will need to make use of the knowledge he or she learned from the course to make decisions. So the student is not making his or her own decisions. It's trying to act as a proxy or avatar for the historical figures to make correct decisions, following the right course of history, so to speak. So that's something that we are also working on with the teacher, Dr. David Promfet. Another thing that we are working very closely with our collaborators in the university is to analyze the data. The mathematics course that I mentioned a little bit earlier, during our research meeting yesterday, we analyzed this, is a very important course for first-year engineering students. It's a compulsory course. We have 400 to 500 students that need to pass this course in order to progress in their study. But our statistics told us that quite a significant number of students fail this course, pushing their study plan back. So it's totally undesirable. So what we did was we create some teaching and learning objects online. We try to embed different branching decisions for exercises in solving some equations and provide tutorial videos to students. The objective is to help those marginally failing students. So students can pick up the necessary knowledge just in time for their quizzes, for their final exam, and so on. We are now in the process of analyzing the final exam results according to their behaviors in the platform to help the professors in the next semester when they offer this course again, they can improve the content so that hopefully the poorer students can improve and the excellent students can do even better. So these are the things that we can do for you and with you, actually. So with these two ideas, scaling out your teaching and the objective to scale up the learning, I just want to give you a perspective why we need to do this, why I highly encourage you to consider doing this. It's because the world has changed. Education is open up. But then the world is moving along that direction. Things are becoming more transparent. The way you teach, the effectiveness of our students learn are no secrets anymore. We cannot hide behind closed door, pretending nothing is going on. On the positive side, actually starting from your disciplinary knowledge, your impact, your personal impact as a teacher, as a researcher. Right? I believe your research informed your teaching too. If not, again, we have to reflect. Right? Actually, was restricted just inside your classroom, inside the class that your department had assigned to you. But with e-learning, with things that I'm trying to convince you to consider doing, first of all, you can enlarge your impact by having a much higher visibility to teach more students. That's what I call scaling out your teaching, even though those students are not actually your enrolled students, because the videos are available for everyone to watch. Right? For example, a MOOC. Right? And speaking of MOOC, actually you can push your impact all the way to the world stage. Right? And there's another derivative or variant of a MOOC that is called SPOC, Small Private Online Courses. I just want to digress a little bit from this diagram to tell you one thing that we are doing with our sister institutions, Chinese University of Hong Kong, Hong Kong UST, PolyU, and perhaps CTU, and so on, using a very nice platform called Keep, right? Because I see our Keep colleagues here, right? And trying to do content sharing, right? So that your nice teaching materials later on could be shared amongst UGC-funded institutions. That's what I call, again, scaling out your teaching. Right? Enlarge your impact. Right? Your teaching is great, so why not promote it? Right? And when we all, as a team, are doing this together, we will actually run into the space of other universities as well. Because obviously, we are not alone. This is not a new idea. Actually, again, to be honest, we are still playing catch up. When I ran around the world, right, I discovered that actually many universities are kind of ahead of us. Right? Some are way ahead of us. Right? So if we measure world-class universities' achievement on that dimension, it's a shame on me, right? Because we are still playing catch up. Right? Places like Peking University, they are extremely aggressive. UC Berkeley and you name it, right, are also doing the same thing, helping their teachers to scale out their teaching, to enlarge their impact to the world stage. And some of these universities that we are partnering with will later on co-create contents with us. So if you want to be part of that, I can facilitate that to happen. This is my last slide. I will stop at the half-hour mark as I promised Masato. I don't want to eat up into his time. It's just to show you, in particular, Hong Kong, you colleagues, what we do, what we can serve your needs. As I mentioned before, we can help you to implement innovative pedagogies. You and our team and the Center for Enhancement of Teaching and Learning, the three parties can work together to come up with innovative pedagogies, not just online, but within the classroom. Because when Masato talked about the flipped classroom idea, one very, very important component is how are you going to make your classroom time really quality time? That's extremely difficult. I'm still trying very hard to do it myself, to be honest with you, because I really want to walk the talk. Right? I just don't want to be just a talker. Right? But it's extremely difficult. It needs pedagogical experts like people in the Center for Enhancement of Teaching and Learning to help. And of course, we can help you to do educational video production. We can help you to analyze your learning data. We even have a team of developers specializing in developing high-quality games. Speaking of games, again, this is a tough challenge on me and my team. So games, traditionally, is like a no-no in education. Because you are asking students to play games, that means they don't study. Right? But our games are educational games. That means they have to get across educational contents, achieve learning outcomes. It's a tough call because we need to balance entertainment and education. Right? It's extremely difficult. We have been scratching our heads for 6-7 months now. We still yet to come up with a good plan for one of our courses. But we'll keep doing. Right? MOOCs and SPOCs, in-class polling tools, classroom management tools, and improvement of learning management system features. Right? And one last thing I want to mention is that for Hong Kong U colleagues, if you want to really do something outside of your comfort zone, you need help. Of course, we are here to help. But you might need some more resources, and teaching development grants is a great pool of resources. And we also can help you to develop the proposals as well. Because my experience as a reviewer of those proposals is that if we work together in the pre-proposal stage, the proposals would look that much greater. And the chances of getting the resources that you need will be that much higher. Right? So please reach out. We can talk about your ideas, the resources that you need from the University Central in terms of teaching development grant. Right? So one last time, we are here to help. Right? So let me know what you want to do. We can talk. Right? And without further ado, I'd like to pass the time to Masato, please, to talk about his experience in MOOCs and flipped classroom. Right? We will leave the question and answering to the end. Right? Thank you very much.